little more detail on the retail banking, retail lending side. As I stated earlier, we have a very robust, cost-effective offering. We're in a phenomenal position in some of our growth during the first quarter as the regulatory changes have impacted interchange income, different fee income sources for traditional banks, overdraft charges are modified, et cetera, et cetera. They are really ramping up service charges to customer. A basic checking account in the city of Indianapolis today is $15 a month. That's it. We're still able, because of the cost of the infrastructure, to give a no-frills basic checking account, no fees. Nothing along with it. It's checking account, but it has helped us tremendously in the growth of just everyday checking and money market accounts through the first quarter. As the other banks raise that bar, we become very, very, very attractive. We did a satisfaction survey during the third quarter of 2011. 9 out of 10 of our existing customers said they would recommend us to a friend or a colleague, which is kind of unheard of. I mean, you can get satisfaction surveys, you get above a 65, 70%. It's staggering. To be 90%, the firm we use, just never seen a number like that, and they do large national branded companies. So it's a great product. It is self-service, but it works very, very efficiently and tremendous opportunities in there. Personalization options, we did a lot more to even make it more focused on the consumer over the course of the past year, and it really does become their bank and their relationship, gives them a lot of flexibility. During 2012, we added the iPhone, iPad, Android, you name it, whatever the device is today, I think you can get to us and get access. We have an app for about everything out there. Obviously, that, again, being part of the internet space is just a given. We needed to put those products in play. You could, through a smartphone or a smart device, through the web browser, get to the bank historically, but we went ahead with the application process for a lot of reasons, just for market awareness, and it has been accepted very handily by our customers. We had introduced over a year ago a desktop scanning product that allows the consumer, wherever they are, to scan in deposit checks, send them to the bank, gets processed. If we get it by mid-afternoon, it'll get processed yet that day, delivered to the Fed. Most funds available next business day to the consumer. So one of our issues historically, if you got outside the state of Indiana, the real time lag was U.S. Postal Service. And you're reading the woes and the closing of Postal Service and all the issues going on. That's going to get worse before it gets better. So we enabled a desktop scanning program for folks to make deposits with us, which has been tremendous on both sides. The consumers love it. Small businesses love it. Our staff loves it. It just makes everything tremendously efficient. We will be expanding that and looking to the cell phone type apps where you can take a photo of the check and send it to us. We got a couple security issues we want to work through before we move into that platform, but should be here before the end of 2012. A new deposit origination system will definitely improve the onboarding of a customer to the First IB site. It automates a lot of the process. Actually, a lot of things that we've been doing for the last couple years on the mortgage side are now set up for the new account openings. So it's very effective, very efficient. In fact, a consumer can open an account technically with us with little to no intervention from bank staff person. So if it's 3 a.m. in the morning and I get the urge to go sign up at First IB, I can get through the process. It also has a lot of cross-selling functionalities to it. So instead of, if I'm coming in for a checking account, we can pitch them an overdraft line of credit, a credit card, et cetera. Without being obtrusive and spamming them, we hopefully will open up a lot of cross-sell opportunities for other products. Next up is the mortgage lending area. We have continued to invest in the consumer mortgage area. We pushed up both the marketing efforts on the front end, which is a lot of paid referrals, buying keywords, which has obviously increased the leads and the activity. We launched a totally new mortgage website in the third quarter of 2011 that even makes it more self-servicing and efficient, and thankfully we did, because the volume has kind of gone through the roof. We would be swamped with even more bodies had we not made it more self-service. The new loan origination system also went live in the third quarter. And part of this origination system, as I talked about on the consumer account opening, takes them from application process and moves the data through the system. So at one point in time, we had an application process, we had an onboarding origination process, we had a closing process. There were 3 or 4 different subsystems. Now the loan can literally move almost from beginning to end seamlessly, which makes it very fast, very efficient. The consumer can see their status at all times. More importantly, some of those moves were manual from one system to another, which potentially opened the door for human keystroke errors, et cetera, backlog, whatever. That's been eliminated and has really helped the throughput of the organization. In August of last year, we doubled down on our loan officers and kind of the sales team for the mortgage side of things. There used to be a lending tree operation here in Indianapolis. We were able to take 8 of their top sales staff, brought them on board, doubled our activity, and literally put the sales through the roof. Those of you that follow us on a quarterly basis saw the impact in earnings. Fourth quarter, obviously in first quarter, it was a tremendous push for us, and the next slide will show you why. This is the online mortgage originations and what we've done with it. If you remember, back about 6 years ago, we acquired Landmark Savings Bank, and we kind of, CP and his organization were doing anywhere from $40 to $60 million a year in new mortgage originations, and we kind of stayed that path the first couple of years while we were building the infrastructure to move it to the web. Some of that was introduced in 2009, more in 2010, more in 2011, and also the growth of the sales team in 2011. So it's improved geometrically. 2008, we had 50 million in originations to 132 to 245 to 362 million in calendar year 2011. The real kicker, if you look at it, 5 years ago, we did 16 million in the first quarter of 2008. First quarter of 2012, we did 151 million. And that is the slowest quarter. There is seasonality to the mortgage side, and historically, first and fourth quarter are the slowest, first quarter by far. So we literally blew it out of the park 5 times the originations that we did in 2011, both from systems and infrastructure as well as the sales effort and an additional marketing spend on the front end. If we stay on this path, we're actually, by probably into June, July, we will actually eclipse the total mortgages originated in calendar year 2011. So I don't know that we're going to double down. We're hoping to get 2,000 mortgages originated through the course of the year. Obviously, tremendously low interest rates help on that side of the things, as well as the systems and the infrastructure and the great sales team we have. All indications in the near future, interest rates are going to stay very close to where they're at today. It's kind of an intriguing fact. We're not quite a 50-50 mix. We're probably 60-40, 65-35 on refinance versus new originations, but our origination number is much higher than traditional banks across the country. And we're also getting a great quality of customer and a larger borrower. Our average loan is almost $300,000 in origination, and nationally it's about $182,000. So we're getting a much higher quality customer and borrower, which ultimately, as rates come around and it's something that we're interested in, I don't want to lock up a bunch of 3% 30-year fixed first mortgages, but when those rates come back or variable rates come back into favor, we can put those loans on the books and keep the assets ourselves. So right now we literally sell 99.9% of the mortgages in the secondary market, but that could always switch as time goes by and we could take on the loans in our portfolio. Consumer lending, I would tell you the consumer is back. If you've read a lot of things, consumer sales are up, credit card activity is up. In our world, on a year-to-date basis, for the first 4 months of this year, we're up almost 60% in consumer loan originations over what we did in 2011. So part of that is intentional. We went back out to the recreational market that has been a great asset base for us over the last 12 years, increased our dealer network, as well as reset some of our pricing. There was a couple of very large banks that were trying to buy the market. We did not chase 3% 15-year RV loans, but we're competitive in the marketplace, and the dealers are back, and we're working very, very well in that market. Some of you remember me talking about it over years. The high-end horse trailers, the RV, is a great industry, both from the lending side from us as well as the banking side, because the bank goes wherever they go. So if they're on the road with the horses, we're there with wherever they're at. If they're the snowbirds and they're in Michigan half of the year, or Indiana, and half the year in Arizona or Florida, the bank goes with them. They don't have to worry about being different different spots. So it's really been a good channel and a great place for us. Again, a new loan origination system. That helps as well. It's a very simplistic system, again, very easy for the customer to go through the process, check all their status and things, even on a remote basis. So if they're, fill out an app at 2 a.m. in the morning and they come home tomorrow night off second shift, they can check the status. It's all there interactive for them. Again, we're maintaining very high credit standards. The rates are a little more competitive. Our average credit score on our portfolio and origination on a month-to-month basis is about a 770, and 800 is the gold standard. Really, it's substandard loans are in the 600s, so a 770 is tremendous. So we're able to get growth without moving down the food chain on the decision-making side of things. Anticipating that we'll have a return on assets of about a 1.6 on the new loans and the volume coming in even with the lower rates.